Hello, this is Hellsen. Welcome back to our play by email versus Deaniks using the Pacific First mod with variants. And now today we have the combat replay for December 14th, 1941. Alrighty then. Alright, so today we should be advancing on Hong Kong, advancing on Singapore, moving more troops into Clarkfield, and advancing on some of the leftover forces in Luzon. Another free base flipping over. Always appreciate those. All right, so we're landing on Panay at San Jose. So it looks like he has pulled the Death Star north, which is good for us. Alright, so now we start prepping for our northern attack here. So we're start bombing these guys with the Stukas, doing pretty good damage here. So 93 casualties, about what, 13 disabled. Not so much with the Sallies, they have a lighter bomb load, or lighter bombs period, but you get enough of them, you do enough damage. Nice, very nice. Those are the troops north of Chang. I stopped bombarding these guys eventually just because there's no point to it. Again, our Sirens on the way back to Cameron Play. These guys are actually on their way back to reload on Sirens. They've lost a couple. So luckily we get lucky and we get a couple shots in the AO Pecos here. On fire, heavy damage. Pretty sure she's going to go down. We do see a British task force close to Momaine, which isn't good. I thought maybe he was going to come in to bombard. Because when I saw that, I was like, ah, hell. But hopefully we will take Momaine this turn before he has a chance to maybe soften us up. So. Alright, just doing our sweeps before our bombing. Alright, now we really start working over on the troops on Clark. This doesn't do much. It's times 3 terrain. They're in forts, so we don't really do a lot of damage. But we do also start hitting the runway to make sure he doesn't build up those forts that we took down a couple turns ago. Duke is still working on the troops in Hong Kong. Valley's still working on the airfield. Now this is a German kind of medium bomber. It's got a lot of bombs, but they're small bombs. They're only like 50 kilograms, which is like, you know, about 100-pound bombs. But it's got like 58 of them, right? So I was hoping, or plan was to use these on airfields because it does a lot of hits, and I'm not sure how the damage works out, right? If it's per hit, the type of hits. But if you tell, it's dropping, each one of these is dropping 28 50-kilogram bombs and 2 100-kilogram bombs. So I'm thinking I'm just going to use these guys strictly for airfield bombing, or maybe troops in clear terrain. It might do a pretty good amount of damage. Kind of testing them out just to see how they work. But if you get them in, bombing them in troops in any kind of terrain, they do nothing. Alright, so he brings in some his B-17s flying out of Calcutta to bomb my troops at Momaine. It does decent amount of damage, honestly, for transporting terrain. So our plan, especially coming next turn, you'll see a surprise. Let's just say we need to get some AA with our troops. So obviously we should crush these guys. We have armor, we have raiders, we have really good aim. So push these guys well over the vent, kind of destroy them. At least one destroyed, nothing else really. And just kind of wipe these guys out. We did wipe one of them out completely, which I think was the Burma Rifles Battalion or something like that. So that's very good. Alright, delivered attack before we go into Tamola. The first Space Force retreat's over. Now we will move into Tamola next turn. We'll take Van Nemo. Alright, so our Naval Guard has made it, or not Naval Guard, the Cure First SNF has made it into Cotabato, and we take those and push those down to Davao. So these guys will pursue. Alright, delivered attack south Dakota Brood on the first Hyderabad. 1800, and they just surrender, which is great for me because now they don't have to pursue them. These guys will now march north to Dakota Brew, and then along this road to like Georgetown and Little Star and Taiping. So don't take much, and we don't actually take any casualties on this combat. So very nice. And that's it. Chiang Mai expands its airfield size 3, and Wake Island's fortifications are now up to 2, which is good for me. Lose about 3 or 4 points there to low garrisons. Knew that was just going to happen, but we haven't switched to positive, so we are. It's okay. We can lose some here. Today, very quiet. No ops losses. No nothing. So nothing there. Ship sunk. I'm pretty sure we got that Pecos, but it doesn't show up. Ground points still looking decent. Looking good on that. So intel. So we got 99.85 and 2 at Kukong, so we can take a kind of look at that. What was that? 99.85. I think that's gonna be 99.85. Ah, yep. So that's some trips fleeing the Philippines. They starts off with some ships here. I had these guys on search and naval attack. We just didn't pick them up, so they actually managed to slip through the screen. Good for him. Kukong. I don't remember where Kukong was at. Let's find out. Bases. Kukong. Wait a minute. Yeah, it does say Kukong, right? KUK. There is no KUK. Okay. I apparently am getting intel from a base that doesn't exist. Oh, that's it. Enemy base. There we go. Airfield. Ah, okay, yep. So he's got 8 units there, pretty good amount. So yeah, I know this sounds familiar. All right, ops point. Lots of upgrades going on. Again, 5th Division, 18th Division, 4th Tank Division. This is actually bad for me. It takes us a while to fix this. So we found out that if you look at this, this actually switched from Tigers to Type 97. I changed the one line on it, but it will go back to fix whatever TOE it is. It's like that. So we have to get this fixed, and it takes quite a while. So we have to mess with the editor. I had to create a new Tiger tank and have this Type 97 upgrade to it. Had to turn all the other tanks off, have it upgraded, then turn it off and get rid of it. So it's a pain in the butt because we did lose our Tigers on this for a while. And this comes back to haunt us on a lot of our units that were one item changed. So if you do this in modding, my recommendation is just, if you're going to do something, just create an entire new TOE and make it that, because you can't just change one item. It's going to try to go back to the original TOE. So this was a nightmare for me. So very, very bad. All right. So as you can tell, we're moving down to Canton. All of the individual pieces of the 51st Recon or 51st Division is on the way to Canton. These are a bunch of road construction guys heading down to Rabaul to start building those up, which is nice. Still got some ships, heading out here. So like I said, our subs are heading north, and we're just getting a lot of things here that we can start building up in repairs. I think these are all the troops that were in Sama Bay, like the Naval Guard and stuff like that. We're looking good at Mindanao. Should be moving into here. These guys will now cross the river, and these would also proceed to head this way to help out. Like I said, we're moving to here. We're taking some points lost from Manila. We're taking some points from Wu Chao because we lost Wu Chao. And we're taking lost points from Loy Lang because we took Loy Lang. You can tell here, we have now started our assault on the north. These guys are now moving along the road. We're still waiting for units to get to Hankow upgrade and then move them up to Ichang to start our northern. And then the third phase would get to Hankow upgrade and then move down to Nanchang to follow this road into Pingsang and then up into Hanyang. So that is China. We're going to really start bombing the hell out of these guys to start weakening them. We have taken Momain. Kind of hold off here. I could cross the river, but I don't have enough force, and he has a lot of troops in India or in Burma, so I don't want to take this 2 divisions in there. We're just moving some garrison forces in and building up our airfields for the future battle to come. Malaya is looking good. Tanks will now push these guys in. Like I said, these guys will head to Tamola. We have some forces doomed to be heading south to take Hello Star, Georgetown, and Taiping. And eventually, once we take Singapore with these guys will head to Palembang. And that's pretty much where we're at as far as strategically going. It's just moving a lot of stuff around right now. And then once we get them all set up, then we'll kind of move other things there. A lot of our subs, these guys will be upgrading to... Oh no, these are the Glen subs. The other subs have already started upgrading. So if we go to here, show ships under repair. These were all short old boats, so we upgraded them to 22 bigger subs, and they're very good. I like that. So they become Type A2. These now have 10 torpedo tubes, pretty good amount of ammo, but more importantly, have a decent range, so they can stay out long enough. So very nice. We will be... Okay, we've already uploaded that. There's the Saswell First that was at Wake. We left these guys in defense. Eventually, I need to move some troops to Marcus there. And then we will be loading like a shipping regiment to Antioch. And then once we take Nauru and Ocean, we're shipping resources back to Antioch. We do have a very scary amount of resources needed per day. We're losing 90,000 resources per day out of the home islands for our industry. So we have to ship in 90,000 per day. So that's kind of scary. We are unloading the rest of the 2nd Guards Battalion, which is good. Those guys will be heading south. And then next turn, these will be dropping the rest of the 3rd Guards Division and Eastern Army, which also will be heading in here. We're now back up to 4,100. Now that the 2nd Division has moved in, we can kind of look at the disruption. So we're down to 19. I want to get these guys down to about 10 before we do our 2nd attack. Not to mention, now that these guys will be unloading, let's go ahead and send them in. It's a couple of extra 100, right? Meanwhile, we've emptied pretty much all of Sama. We're going to continue losing the rest of these. Yeah. So we were kind of worried about this. So these are moving east. So I was worried that these guys were maybe he's trying to sleep some troops into Rangoon. It seems early. It's only been a week into this war, but it seems early for him to be trying to do that. That's ballsy. I was more worried that these guys were a bombardment task force that can go mess with these guys. So you can see the Dutch ships are kind of safe. They're moving out now. I've already sent my subs home because they've lost a couple, and just to get them out of the way from the Death Star. But the Death Star is now heading up this way, which is good for me. It buys me time. I was very happy with this, very okay with this. So, you know, 2 more turns, 3 more turns, we'll get all the carriers together. Once we get the carriers over here and I'm protected, I'm very happy. So that's going to be it for December 14th, 1941. I said the game, we are actually at January 12th. So I'm recording this on February 6th. We're recording December 15th. The game itself is on January 12th. If you want to see the state of the game, come check it out. Come catch me on Twitch. I'd appreciate the support. It's stream most all my turns and setups there. So if you have any questions about the game, that's the place to comment. Or just come to Yokin's Discord. We all hang out there. There's a bunch of channels and a bunch of... we're starting to get some of the bigger name people from the forums that have been playing this game since like 2008. So it'd be great to catch you all there. I hope to see it.